Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to hear is true.
Murder, USA. Here lies Baltimore. Murder number 185 for 2019. 9 shot, 2 fatal in 24 hours of gunfire in Baltimore. On July 21st, 2019, at approximately 5:58 a.m., Baltimore police officers were dispatched to the 2600 block of Ellicott Drive. They found a man suffering from gunshot wounds that later died at the Shock Trauma Center and was identified as Curtis Cannon. Yes, it does happen. Man 23 was shot in the rear end. On July 21, 2019, at approximately 5:44 a.m., Baltimore police were dispatched to the 2600 block of Gwynns Falls Parkway to investigate a reported shooting. Officers arrived at the scene and found a 23-year-old man suffering from gunshot wounds to the buttocks. He was transported in a meat wagon to the hospital. Perhaps he was laying on his stomach. Man winged in the thigh. On July 21, 2019, at approximately 5:28 a.m., Rooster Hour, police were dispatched to the unit block of the North Carolina Street to investigate a reported shooting, and they found a man suffering from a gunshot wound to the thigh. An elderly woman took a shot to the hip on North Rosedale Street. On July 21, 2019, at approximately 2:36 a.m., police were dispatched to the 1400 block of North Rosedale Street to investigate a reported shooting, found a 67-year-old female suffering from a gunshot wound to the hip. Man 22 down on North Elamont with gunshot wounds. On July 21, 2019, at approximately 1:22 a.m., it was a busy day for the medics and the police. Police were dispatched to the 1100 block of North Elamont Street to investigate a reported shooting on a 22-year-old man suffering from gunshot wounds. He was rushed to an ER for treatment. Murder USA, number 185 for 2019, 4 shot, 1 dead. Police identified victim as Nathaniel Green. July 20th, 2019, at approximately 10:28 p.m., Baltimore police were dispatched to the 2800 block of Borman Avenue to investigate a reported shooting. They found 3 males suffering from gunshot wounds. 1 victim sustained a non-life-threatening gunshot wound to the leg. 2 others had serious injuries. And the 4th victim, a 31-year-old male, walked into an area hospital later on for treatment of a gunshot wound. Detectives determined he was also shot at the Borman Avenue. 1 and nearly done on McCullough Street. On July 20, 2019, at approximately 11:36 a.m., police were dispatched to 2200 block of McCullough Street to investigate a reported shooting and found a 33-year-old male suffering from gunshot wounds. Medics hauled him off to a hospital. Beef over a dice game erupted into gunfire. 3 wounded on July 20th, 2019. Shortly after 12:10 a.m., patrol officers were dispatched to 2 area hospitals tasked with investigating walk-in shooting victims. Seeking treatment and found all 3 of them have been slightly grazed by a shooter who obviously needs more time on the range. Police said that the victims, a 22-year-old female and 2 17-year-old males, were in the 3900 block of Main Avenue for a dice game that ended with a fight, and an unidentified male suspect began to shoot a handgun, striking all 3 victims. Victims left the scene, and of course no one knows who the shooter was. Nowadays, the wounded don't even wait for the meat wagon. Maybe they take an Uber to the ER. Will Baltimore City reimburse the gunshot victims if they use Uber? Only the shadow knows for sure. On July 22nd, 2019, at 7:21 p.m., officers were called to the 600 block of Cumberland Street for a report of a shooting. When they arrived, they were unable to find a shooting victim or a suspect. However, later on, 2 walk-in shooting victims at an area hospital reported in with gunshot wounds to his body for 1 man, and 1 was wounded in the arm. Murder USA, number 184 for 2019. Gunshot wounds fatal. On July 22nd, 2019, at approximately 8:14 a.m., officers responded to the rear of a home in the 1000 block of Ellicott Drive for a shooting and found Curtis Cannon, who was suffering from gunshot wounds to the upper body. The victim was declared dead. Man 29 found with gunshot wound in the face on July 21, 2019 at approximately 12 on July 21, 2019 at approximately 10:36 p.m. Southeast Patrol officers responded to North Port Street for a report of a shooting and found a man suffering from a gunshot wound to the face. Leg wounds aside, 2 walking woundeds arrived at the ER on their own. On July 22nd at 8:59 p.m., Baltimore police were called to a hospital for more walk-in shooting victims. Murder USA number 180 for 2019. Antone Suggs was killed close to home. Antone Chantel Suggs, 33, of 4900 Stafford Street, Baltimore, Maryland. A black female was killed on July 18, 2019, while in the 4800 block of Stafford Street. Murder USA number 178 and 179 for 2019, double the trouble for the suspect who killed 2 men in one night on Maple Avenue. Charles Falk, 22, of Frankfort Avenue, Baltimore, and Callie Delmar Tyree of 3810 Pinckney Road, Baltimore, Maryland. They were killed on July 18, 2019, while on the 5300 block of Maple Avenue. Tyree had once been a student at Delaware Valley University in Pennsylvania. Charles Falk, who he spared the trouble to appear in court in Baltimore City to answer charges for attempted first-degree murder. Charles Howard Alma Falk, 21, of Davidson of Division Street, Princess Anne, Maryland, was arraigned in Jefferson County Magistrate Court in West Virginia on a felony charge of possession with intent to deliver heroin in 2017 and indicted again in 2018 for distribution of heroin. Callie Tyree got a plea deal to possession of heroin or cocaine on September 14, 2017, and the charge was put on the step docket. A guilty plea to a possession of more than 10 grams of marijuana in Baltimore City District Court netted him a jail sentence of 1 year, which was suspended. Murder USA number 181 for 2019. Antone Gordon shot dead. Gordon of Benninghouse Road, Baltimore, was killed on July 19th in the 800 block on North Milton Avenue. He was charged by Baltimore police officer Jasmine Salters with assault and use of a deadly weapon with the intent to injure the day before he was murdered. Gordon was a registered sex offender following his conviction of a third-degree sex offense in 2015. I guess I'll let him off the list now. Murder USA 187 for 2019. Brock Burton shot dead on Ramona Avenue on July 22nd. Teen shot multiple times by exorcist Charles Manson family wannabe Ashley Walton. Baltimore, Maryland, what can only be described as a perpetrator armed with a gun that looks like a Hollywood version of a crazed killer. Baltimore police say that Ashley Walton of 1212 Shellbanks Road, Baltimore, Maryland, attempted to murder a teen on July 22nd of 2019 at 10:45 p.m. The shooting took place on Round Hill Road following a catfight between multiple participants in the quickly deteriorating city of crime and slime of Baltimore. Police say the shooting victim is in good condition, and the shooter is waiting to make bail so she can return to the culture class that has bred her to this point in life. That's it.